Hello everyone, my name is Rahil and I am from Green and Brown LLP. Today we are presenting our analysis of sustainability and external reporting for Going Green Incorporation, recovering requirements 4 through 8 informed by the CPA Canada June 2024 guidance and the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Let's begin. So, let's go over today's agenda. We have 6 sections today. Requirement 4 covers the advantages and disadvantages of sustainability reporting. Requirement 5 looks at third-party assurance, pros, cons, and challenges for accountants. Requirement 6 compares accounting firms against non-accounting firms. Requirement 7 evaluates Caterpillar's sustainability reporting. Requirement 8 examines integrated reporting, and finally we apply the CPA Canada guidance to SDG 6 clean water and sanitation. Moving on to the requirement. Okay, moving on to requirement 4 advantages of sustainability reporting. Why do 92% of the world's 250 largest companies now publish sustainability reports? Because there is a clear business case. The first advantage is stakeholder trust. Transparent ESG reporting builds credibility within its investors, stakeholders, regulators, and customers. Second, competitive advantage. Strong sustainability profits attract ESG-focused capital and can support premium pricing. The third one is operational efficiency. The data collection process itself surfaces waste and cost-saving opportunities. The fourth one is risk management. Identifying environmental risk early prevents regulatory penalties and reputational damage. The fifth one is employee attraction. Top talent increasingly prefers employers with strong sustainability commitments. The CPA Canada June 2024 alert reinforces this. ISSB's IFRS S1 and S2 now provide a global baseline that makes these disclosures comparable and decision useful. Exactly what investors demanded. Next, moving on to the disadvantages and the reluctances of sustainability reporting. For that, the moving on to the disadvantages and reluctance of sustainable reporting. Of course, there are real barriers. Cost is the most immediate. Collecting, verifying, and disclosing sustainability data requires significant time, personal, and systems investment. Before ISSB, in the absence of a uniform standard, created inconsistency and confusion. Greenwashing risk is real. Overstated claims invite regulatory scrutiny and reputational damage. Competitive sensitivity is another concern. Disclosing operational data may expose proprietary processes. Legal liability follows from inaccurate disclosures and measurement difficulty, particularly for Scope 3 emissions and social impact. Our recommendation is commission a readiness assessment before committing to public disclosure. Moving on to requirement 5, third-party assurance, its pros and cons. 63% of the world's largest 250 companies already obtain external assurance on sustainability data. The advantages are clear, independent, and dramatically increase credibility, reduces information asymmetry, and encourages rigorous internal data discipline, much as a financial audit improves accounting controls. However, assurance adds cost. There is no single universal assurance standard for sustainability, and the process may surface data quality weakness that must be addressed. Critically, the CPA Canada June 2024 alert confirms the global shift from voluntary to mandatory sustainability assurances as accelerating. For Going Green Incorporation, starting now on a voluntary basis builds institutional capacity before compliance becomes mandatory. The next slide is the challenges for third-party assurance. Providing sustainability assurance is not simply a financial audit applied to a new subject matter. Accountants face six key challenges. First, unlike GAAP, there is no single accepted criterion. Practitioners must evaluate whether management chosen framework is appropriate. Second, environmental data involves estimates and models, not confirmable balances. The third is CPAs lack training in environmental science, GHG protocol, and social impact measurement. Technical experts may be needed. Fourth, standards are evolving rapidly across GRI, ISSB, CSRD, and TCFD simultaneously. Fifth, an erroneous opinion carries significant professional liability. And sixth, Scope 3 emissions extend across thousands of suppliers. Verification is inherently difficult. George Brown and LLP would need to invest in specialized capacity to serve this market credibility. Moving on to the next slide, requirement 6, accounting versus non-accounting firms. Requirement 6 compares two types of assurance providers. Accounting firms like ours bring regulated credibility, professional independence standards, and deep expertise in internal control and data systems. Institutional investors and regulators specifically trust CPA-issued opinions. Our limitation is technical expertise, environmental science, and GHG measurement that are not traditional CPA competencies. Non-accounting firms such as engineering consultancies bring exactly that technical depth and industry-specific knowledge, but they lack professional independent rules and recognized assurance standards, which limits their credibility with capital markets. Our recommendation: a hybrid model, Green and Brown LLP as lead assurance provider, supplemented by technical consultants for complex environmental matrix. This is the approach increasingly adopted by large cap companies globally. Moving on to the next slide, that is requirement 7, Caterpillar Incorporation Evaluation. For requirement 7, we benchmark Capital Incorporation as a leading example of sustainability reporting. Our key findings are Caterpillar's sustainability report is more detailed and forward targeted uh, than 10K ESG disclosures. The sustainability report covers resource efficiency, targets emission reduction, supplier conduct standards, and HR diversity metrics, all aligned with GRI standards and externally verified. However, the 10K only partially reflects these commitments. ESG appears mainly as a risk disclosure, not as a strategic value value driver. The two documents are not genuinely integrated. For Going Green in Corporation, the lesson is clear: build bridges between sustainability KPIs and financial narrative from the outset. Don't let sustainability reporting become a separate exercise disconnected from how you tell your financial story to investors. Moving on to the last requirement, that is integrated reporting. Requirement 8 examines integrated reporting, combined financial and sustainable performance in one coherent document. About 11% of reporting companies had already adopted this model by 2015, and momentum is growing under ISSB. The advantages are a holistic value creation from narrative, reduced duplication, better communication of how ESG drives long-term financial returns, and stronger internal alignment across business functions. The disadvantages are: it is organizationally complex, sustainability content risk being diluted by financial disclosures, comparability remains limited without mandatory standards, and most organizations lack the system integration needed to do it credibly. Our recommendation: do not attempt integrated reporting immediately. Build the foundation, GRI aligned reporting, third party assurance, and the ESG commentary in the MD and A over 2 to 3 years first. Moving on to the CPA Canada SDG 6 Clean Water and Simulation Alert. Finally, we apply the CPA Canada guidance to SDG 6 Clean Water and Sanitation. 2 billion people lack safe drinking water globally, and industrial activities are a leading cause of freshwater degradation. Depending on Going Green's incorporations operations, water risk may be among the most material sustainability issues. The CPA Canada June 2024 alert links this among the most material sustainability issues. It is directly linked to IFRS S2, which requires disclosures of physical and transition risk related to water, and CPS providing assurance must be competent in GRI 303 water standards and ISAI 3000. Our three recommendations for going green incorporation are: 1. Disclose water withdrawal and recycling metrics as per GRI 303. Second, set targets allowed with SDG 6.3 and 6.4 on water quality and efficiency. Third, engage Green and Brown LLP to provide third-party verified assurance over three water KPIs, turning SDG alignment from a marketing claim to into a credible, verified commitment. Moving on to the conclusions and recommendations. To summarize our 5 recommendations for Going Green incorporation: first, adopt GRI and ISSB standards to ensure credibility and comparability. Second, engage Green and Brown LLP for ISA 3000 limited assurance as a first step. Third, align sustainability KPIs with financial reporting in the MD&A. Fourth, build toward integrated reporting over a 2 to 3 year horizon. 5. Champion SDG 6 by disclosing water metrics, setting targets, and obtaining CPA verified assurance. These are not just best practices, they reflect the direction of regulatory travel. Acting now is less costly and more credible than reacting under mandatory compliance. We urge the audit committee to formally endorse a sustainability reporting roadmap at your next meeting. This is a references and question slides. If you guys have any question, please hit me up on my email.